This play is sponsored by the California Civil Liberties Public Education Program, a state-funded grant project of the California State Library.
Now, LA Theater Works continues with Chavez, Ravine by Culture Clash.
Yuri the sheep herder, are you in your shack?
Maria, please come in. Hurry, close door. Don't let sheep in. More.
Hello, Yuri. I wanted to make sure you had a hot meal this week. Have some tamales while they're still hot.
Always thinking of others, Maria. Can I offer you some Russian vodka?
Sounds like a capital idea.
I make myself.
Nice pinup poster.
Oh, my girlfriend, Jane Russell. Nastrovia. Whew. I not have tamales like this since Mexico City.
Mexico City?
In the home of Frida Kahlo and her husband. What's his name? The big fat painter guy. My boss Leon Trotsky's there. Yuri was personal valet to Trotsky.
How exciting.
Poor Trotsky bite right into tamale without removing corn husk. He almost choked to death. Yuri have to pull tamale from Trotsky's throat, and Frida, lovely Frida with her unibrow, laughing like the devil. Oh, those Mexicans always trying to kill Comrade Leon. What is wrong, Maria? You know, like a Yuri story.
Oh, it's a swell story. Yuri, families all over the Ravine are taking the city offer.
I'm sorry to hear about your brother.
The city shouldn't be able to force people away from their homes, off their land. God damn it, Yuri.
Take it from a communist. It is un-American.
I agree.
It is better to die on your feet than to live on your knees.
Is that Russian?
No, Emiliano Zapata say this.
What do we do?
Well, Maria, at the Workmen's Circle, we are talking about building coalitions.
I heard Carrie McWilliams speak about that last week at the Figueroa Hotel.
Good. Strength in numbers.
What if we form a homeowners coalition?
Now Maria is thinking.
I want you to be the chairman, Yuri.
No.
No.
This is job for Maria.
But I'm not ready.
Maria, I give you this book. Read it and you will be ready.
Karl Marx?
Autographed by the author himself.
To Yuri, love and kisses, Karl. Why, I couldn't.
You need this more than I, comrade.
You are a kind old gentleman.
I'm just a lonely old sheep herder with fleas.
Oh, Yuri, I wanted to thank you for helping me with the elementary school theater project this year.
Maria, do you think Stanislavski might be too much for second graders?
Hello, gente, and welcome everybody to the first Palo Verde Homeowners Protective Society fundraiser. And please welcome a new friend to the neighborhood, el señor Pete Seeger.
Muchas gracias, Maria. Soy muy amable que usted aquí con ustedes. Yo sabo mucho español. Gracias. Here's a song my good friend Woody Guthrie wrote. Me and the fellas are gonna try to kick it out for you fellas. Let's hit it now. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California, from the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. No nos moverán. We won't move.
Por favor, gente, let's settle down. Cálmense.
Maria, María.
Yes, señora.
María, ¿cuándo vienen los mariachis del Boyle Heights, mija? Me encanta cuando los hombres tocan la guitarra toda la noche. Toca.
Sorry, señora, no mariachis.
No.
We're having a meeting.
A meeting.
But the Rodarte brothers are here from City Terrace.
Los hermanos Rodartes de City Terrace.
Sí.
Estos marihuaneros. Cabrones pachucos.
¡Hija loca!
Okay, people. There are some gentlemen here from the city who want to talk to us. Why don't we show them more respect than the city usually shows us, eh?
Certainly do appreciate that, young lady. Folks, my name is Frank Wilkinson. I am the site manager for the City Housing Authority here in Los Angeles. Folks, please, I want you to consider this.
Why are you taking away our home?
Yeah, go away, gringo, go away!
People are angry, Mr. Wilkinson. We never had a chance for a public hearing.
Well, I can assure you that will not happen again.
Is that a promise?
Well, you bet it is.
We're going to hold you to that, sir.
Well, you go ahead and do that, young lady. Folks, I want you to think of the positive effects this brand new housing project will have on all of you and your children, by golly.
I lost my right arm in the war, and this is how you pay me?
Yeah, you tell him, Lefty.
That's right.
Let me tell you a little something about the war, brother. You know what you fought for over there? You fought for freedom, sure, but you also fought for the average Joe. So that one day he could own a home instead of living in a slum. And Los Angeles could be the first large American city without slums, you see?
This is no slum. This has been my home, and I do not want to sell or move or be chased out like a pack of wild dogs. I'm too old to find a new casa.
Well, I certainly do appreciate your concern, Senora, believe you me, and we're going to help you find affordable temporary housing until the new project is built, you see?
Is that another promise, Mr. Wilkinson?
Why, you bet it is. Now listen now, you're all going to receive certificates allowing you to be the first to move back into the ravine as soon as the new project is complete. And you know what's going to be waiting there for you folks, huh? 3 and 4 and 5 bedroom homes with flushing toilets and washing machines on every floor. And you will not pay utilities.
Well, how much is the rent? Yeah, how much will it cost us?
According to what you can afford, fellas, the average rent is around $30, $40 or so.
Do you want to live in houses stacked on top of each other so high? Our children might fall off the windows.
We'll be packed in like sardines.
Let me address the sardine issue, if I may.
Yes, Architect Richard Neutra, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, I have designed a new modern village with plenty of light, air, and space. The interior streets will end in cul-de-sacs, which are very safe for children to play in. The 2-story units will face wonderful gardens and finger parks.
What the hell are finger parks?
What the hell are culo sacks?
Amigos, please. Please, amigos. The 13-story buildings will have communal spaces and kitchens on every other floor to create a sense of tribal unity. Frank?
Yes.
The Aztecs are getting restless.
Richard, go wait in the car, please. Keep the motor running.
What if we decide not to move?
Folks, this is a court-ordered condemnation. Now, the city will enforce their eminent domain law to the fullest.
This eminent domain, isn't that just a weapon the city uses when it wants to steal our land?
Why, nobody's stealing land, young lady. It's in the Constitution. You see, the U.S. government gives cities the power to take private land whenever it's in the greater public good.
But it's not for our greater good, Mr. Wilkinson.
That's right.
Why don't you take your eminent domain law back to the west side?
Well, the city of L.A. doesn't need the west side just yet, thank you very much. Look, what I'm trying to say, folks, is that there are no slums on the west side.
Have you been to Venice Beach?
Now, look, folks, you need this.
This is a trick.
You are getting rich off our land.
Now, I don't make a gosh darn penny off any of this. You've gone a little too far there, senor. Now, look, folks, I know this is a tough time for all of you up here in the ravine. Change is a difficult thing. I know a thing or two about change. But this will be for the betterment of all your lives. I believe in public housing, I do. I've lived in public housing with my wife and little children. And I've stood in silent vigils till the restricted covenant laws of Central and La Brea Avenue were lifted, allowing Negro families to move into those neighborhoods for the first time, by the way. Believe you me, Frank Wilkinson is for the people. Now, you can ask Fred Ross, you can ask Saul Alinsky if you'd like to. Now, come on, folks. This is a good thing and a good thing more. What do you say? It's a good deal, folks. It's a good deal, folks. Come on.
Un momento, chingao. What this señor is saying, francamente, yo lo veo bien. Yo soy comunista, soy del Club Socialista de Morelos. Yo peleé con don Emiliano Zapata allá en el movimiento Tierra y Libertad.
¡Viva Zapata!
Gracias, Yuri. We have to sacrifice something for the good of all. That is progress, señores. No sean pendejos. Hazlo por tus hijos, hombre. Por tu futuro. Now, here's the deed to my land. And I'm ready to sign, Mr. Wilkinson.
Excellent, sir.
¿Quién me sigue? Who else?
Don Magdaleno is right. We must do this for our children and our children's children.
Eso, Jose.
I'll sign, Mr. Wilkinson.
Way to go there.
sign.
Okay, fellas. Okay, fellas. Way to go.
I need a fountain pen. Who's got a fountain pen, chingado?
Well, Mr. Wilkinson, looks like you got what you wanted.
They won't be sorry, Maria.
Vamos a ver, Mr. Wilkinson. We'll see.
This land is your land, but it once was my land. Before we sold you Manhattan Island, you pushed our nations to the reservation. Remember, this land was made for you and me. Choo-choo!
Starlight Express departing to Bakersfield, Fresno, Sacramento, Eureka, Redding. Final destination, Eugene, Oregon. All aboard!
Congressman Polson, where you headed?
I'm going fishing up in Oregon. Congressional recess.
We've kept close tabs on your voting record, Congressman. Pro-business, anti-labor, anti-communist, chasing all those pinkos out of Hollywood.
Why, thank you. Say, who are you?
You can call me the Watchman.
You scare me. You make me nervous like a turkey in November. I have a train to catch, mister.
This train doesn't move till I say it moves. Now listen to me and listen to me carefully. I want you to run for mayor of Los Angeles.
Mayor of Los Angeles?
There's powerful interests in this city, with plenty of cash and influence to help you beat the pants off that liberal Mayor Barron.
How can you guarantee my victory?
That's already done. And in return, you're going to help us out with some real estate deals, a water diversion plan or two, and oh yeah, a particular housing project.
All aboard the Pulsin' Express. Take the red light or angels fly. We've got a knockout who won't stop the fight. Pulsin' for mayor of Los Angeles. Choo-choo! Flash. Mayoral candidate Norris Paulson hits the campaign trail like a stormtrooper. Flash. Here's our next mayor being kissed on the cheek by 5-year-old Miss Sugarbee Queen. Flash. Here's nervous Nori riding a burro on O'Vera Street. Flash. Here's Mr. Paulson with buxom blonde Miss Frozen Food 1953.
I am the anti-housing candidate and proud of it. And I will strike out
Creeping socialism.
creepy socialism. Thank you.
Police Chief Parker here. Why, hello, Watchman. Intelligence on Frank Wilkinson over at the Housing Authority, huh? Yeah, my boy's been eyeballing the pinko for months. I'll call the Bureau myself. We'll go right to the top.
J. Edgar Hoover here. Hello, Chief Parker. Why, I've got a dossier on Wilkinson bigger than Uncle Milty's pecker. The poor bastard'll never know what hit him.
Watchman here. Why, thank you, J. Edgar. We certainly know who wears the pants in Washington. I'll make sure this information gets into the right hands. Frank Wilkinson's dead. He just don't know it yet. Hey, dummy, you won.
I did?
Yeah.
My fellow Angelinos, as your new mayor, my first plan is to stop the public housing project in Chavez Ravine. I know that there are some families still living up there, but that is city property now, and they will not be able to stop the momentum which is thundering this city to greatness!
Maria.
What's going on, Mr. Wilkinson?
Come on in, have a seat.
No, thank you.
What can I do for you this morning, Maria?
What you can do for me is tell me exactly what is going on. Families are uprooted. Their houses are dark and empty with no trespassing signs all over the place. Did you read the Times this morning? Housing project doomed.
I read.
Did you know all along when you handed us those certificates? Did you know we would never come back?
Well, don't be cross with me, Maria. Of course I didn't know.
What am I to tell the families that are ready to move into your tall buildings and cul-de-sacs? What do I say to the families left on the hill? What do I tell them, Mr. Wilkinson?
You can tell them this. You tell them that Fritz Burns, Asa Call, Joe McCarthy, Hoover, Hearst, Chandler, the Times, the whole lot of them, they make a very powerful foe, young lady.
What are you saying?
I've been subpoenaed to testify before the California Un-American Activities Committee.
My gosh, Frank, what are you going to do?
I'm going to find myself a lawyer. A lawyer who's not a communist.
I'm scared, Frank.
I'm scared too, kid. I'm scared too.
This hearing will come to order. Please state your name and occupation.
My name is Frank Wilkinson. I am the Information Director and Site Manager for the Housing Authority for the City of Los Angeles.
Tell us the names of all organizations, political or otherwise, of which you have been a member from the date of your commencement at the University of California at Los Angeles to the present.
No, sir, I would want to recollect much further before I'd answer that question, Mr. Chairman.
You haven't the discretion, you may answer the question.
Well, do I have any rights in regards to the question about organization, sir?
No, you do not.
May I have a moment to discuss the matter with my counsel, sir?
I beg your pardon?
Well, do I have any rights here this afternoon at all, Mr. Chairman?
You do not. State the names of all organizations that you belong to.
Well, I would hold that to answer such a question might incriminate me in some way, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wilkinson, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I respectfully refuse to answer that question, Mr. Chairman.
Order!
Mr. Chairman,
Order!
if I may. Mr. Chairman, if I may, the greatest threat to our country today is fear. This hysteria that grips the land, why it jeopardizes everything our country was founded on, Mr. Chairman. My history with past organizations are irrelevant to these proceedings. Well, what this committee is doing, Mr. Chairman, is only ensuring that the working poor, the average man and woman, will never have a right to affordable, dignified housing, and that, sir, will have dire consequences for generations to come, Mr. Chairman.
Order!
Mr. Chairman, you can fire me if you want to, sir. You can throw me in jail, but don't push the poor out of the inner cities, and by God, don't kill public housing in this country, Mr. Chairman.
That will be enough, Mr. Wilkinson.
Mr. Chairman, history will find us guilty of destroying democracy here today, Mr. Chairman.
Order!
Mr. Chairman, I am an American, sir.
This hearing will come to order.
I am an American, Mr. Chairman.
Strike three for former CHA Information Officer Frank Wilkinson, who refused to answer questions at the hearings of California's Baby HUAC Committee today. Red Wilkinson was immediately fired by CHA bossman Howard Hosendorf. It's the end of public housing in Los Angeles.
The homes, the barrios, the people scattered into dark oblivion, the city pushing down on the heart of memory. Only 12 families left on the hill. Lonely winds whip across the hills. Passage of time, yet time stands still. 5 years have passed. Golden dusk, cold blue night. A flock of ravens like shadows passes across the Palo Verde schoolyard where chavalillos once squealed with delight. Dusk, ghost spirits stir as these Santa Ana winds whip through the hills. Dawn. The ravine is no more heaven. Walter O'Malley and Kenneth Hahn fly high in a whirlybird. It's 1957.
Supervisor Hahn, what's that down there to the left?
Chavez Chavez Ravine. It's an abandoned housing project site, Mr. O'Malley. It's been vacant for nearly 5 years now. It's the perfect location.
My boys tell me the land is restricted for public use only.
What's more public than a ballpark, sir? We'll convince the council that this is a good thing for the city.
I see some houses down there. What was that, pilot?
Squatters!
It's the Santa Ana winds whipping around, sir. Well, Mr. O'Malley, they're really gonna love your Dodgers here in Los Angeles. You'll be glad you moved from Brooklyn.
Not so fast, Supervisor Hahn. They'll skin me alive on Flatbush Ave if the fans catch wind of this.
Ah, the Ravine's a beaut, ain't she?
Well, the land looks rough. The leveling and grading would cost a fortune.
Oh, we'll get you what you need, and that's a promise.
Where's the subway line, Kenneth?
Subways are the past. Freeways are the future. Notice the constant flow of happy motorists. Mr. O'Malley, Angelinos love to drive, and all roads lead to Chavez Ravine.
What's all this smoke, pilot?
Smog!
It's what we call a marine layer, sir. It makes for spectacular sunsets.
Tell me something. How come Walter Disney didn't want to build his Magic Kingdom in the ravine?
He's fucking goofy.
Maybe I should just build my stadium over in Anaheim.
Anaheim! You don't want to do that, sir. Nothing good will ever come out of Anaheim.
Supposing you're right, with Wrigley called Los Angeles a bush town, bush league, second rate. Say, is that the pantry down there? Pilot, circle around. I could use a piece of key lime pie.
Don't you see, Mr. O'Malley? There's not a major league team this side of the Mississippi.
Don't tell that to St. Louis.
You bring the Dodgers out west, you'll make history. Your legacy will be assured. Imagine, the 55 world champs in beautiful Southern California. So what do you say, Mr. O'Malley? Do we have a deal?
I can't hear you, hon.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. Do we have a deal?
No deal.
I think I'm getting airsick.
Pilot, put me down.
What'd you say?
Put me down.
Okay. You're a potato-eating patty.
The paper says Walter O'Malley not happy in Brooklyn. But he wasn't sold in L.A. yet. Nope. Baseball fever was in the air over City Hall, and the game was heating up. The big-time city chingones, they wanted baseball downtown worse than a Tecato needs a fix. Things might have been slow at the Ravine, but here at the mayor's office, it was about to get as busy as a triple baptism at San Conrado Church on a Sunday afternoon. Watcha!
Our story continues next time. I'm Susan Loewenberg, producing director of LA Theater Works.